Tom Homan, Trump's deportation czar, was sent to Minneapolis because he's replacing Greg Bovino. Now, they want you to believe, the Trump administration wants you to believe, that this is just an administrative change. Greg Bovino's doing a great job. Forget about the fact that he's walking around with a squad of goons going into Target to use the toilet and going into Speedway to get snacks and getting kicked out everywhere and deploying CS gas clumsily and wreaking havoc on the streets. They want you to believe everything that he's doing is great, but he has been demoted. Now they're saying, oh, he's just going back to his old job. And anyway, he was going to retire soon. But believe me, if he was doing something that was optically good for this administration, they would have kept Bovino in power. So in comes Tom Homan, and he seems to be saying, we are going to start changing how we are operating. We are going to start removing troops. It seems very clear that they've realized this is not looking good.
I do not want to hear that everything that's been done here has been perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. Anything can be improved on. And what we've been working on is making this operation safer, more efficient, by the book. The mission is going to improve because of the changes we're making internally. No agency or organization is perfect. President Trump and I, along with others in the administration, have recognized that certain improvements could and should be made. That's exactly what I'm doing here. As such, in meetings I've had with federal law enforcement managers, including ICE and CBP and other federal partners, as well as state and local officials, I have conveyed the President's expectations with regard to federal immigration enforcement efforts. We will conduct targeted enforcement operations.
All right. So this is the new phrase, targeted enforcement operations, trying to back off of the perception that they are just going around and screwing with citizens and random people, which of course they are. Now, if this sounds like they are surrendering, Tom Homan wants you to know very strongly and very powerfully, they are not surrendering.
And look, and I will say it again, we are not surrendering our mission at all. We're just doing it smarter.
They're going to be smarter about their mission, but you should be aware that the withdrawal of these forces is conditional upon cooperation. If there is, depending on how that goes, there will be redeployment.
Mr. Homan, Giovanna Dell'Orto with the Associated Press. Based on how you have described these changes in the mission, can you be more specific about the objectives of Operation Metro Surge? If what you have described changes the parameters for interior enforcement only in Minnesota or also in Maine and other places? And finally, when would you consider that those objectives will be achieved and this operation will end? Is it in terms of agents on the ground, in terms of who you are targeting for arrests?
The withdrawal of law enforcement resources here is dependent upon cooperation. Like I said, one agent arresting one bad guy in the jail means less agents on the street. We have some agreements. We got more to talk about how we're going to implement those agreements. But as we see that cooperation happen, then the redeployment will happen.
In other words, as long as state and local authorities do exactly what we tell them, we would consider getting some of these troops out of here. Ay, ay, ay. We then got a bunch of lies from him about a whole bunch of different things. But there was a direct question as to how many of these officers are currently operating in the state of Minnesota. Take a look at this.
Can you please be specific about how many ICE and how many Border Patrol agents are currently operating in the state?
I think we're near 3,000. There's been some rotations. Another thing I witnessed when I came here, I'll share this with you. I met with a lot of people, a lot of the agents. They've been in theater. Some of these people have been in theater for 8 months.
In theater. Words typically reserved for war zones. And if your argument is, well, this has become a war zone, it's become a war zone because of their presence, not because of the underlying circumstances.
So there's going to be rotations of personnel. Hopefully less now that we have some agreements. Maybe we can make it more efficient and safe. But they've been in theater a long time, and so there's rotations happen all the time to get people out here and go home, get some rest, and see their families. day after day. You can't eat in restaurants day after day, having people spit on you and blow whistles at you.
They can't go into restaurants, guys.
Day after day, having all these threats at you. Day after day, having people trying to interfere with you. Day after day, they're human. So, we've got to rotate these people, and we've already rotated some. But my main focus now is drawdown, based upon the great conversations I've had with your state and local leaders.
All right. So listen, this is a lot of propaganda. The main points are they realized Bovino was screwing them, so Bovino is out. They realize they need to start drawing down their presence, and they're making it as though as soon as they get what they believe is right, they will start doing that. And meanwhile, they're insisting that these are targeted operations, even though they have become very much scattershot operations. Bottom line, Homan's a disaster, but they do seem to acknowledge that this is not going well from an optics perspective. And maybe all we can hope for is that Trump's concern with whether he is liked for what he is doing will get him to go in a different direction in Minneapolis. It seems as though that is starting. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.